Anyway, guys, let's get to the fun stuff now. Let's watch some fun stuff. Let's go to CPAC, baby. Hell yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Sorry, I had to play the music. Okay, yeah, we're gonna watch this video. This is by Right Side Broadcasting Network. 2 million subscribers. I've never heard of this place. Gee, I'm gonna need you to move that tail. Okay. So the first one we're gonna watch here is Nick Shirley. Okay, people. Uh, I I don't want to. I'm going to be making fun of him. Okay. I know that might be a little bit ableist of me. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to. He's a terrible person. He is a terrible person. So I am going to be making fun of him. So if you don't like that stuff, um, if you think I am being ableist or whatever, you don't have to watch this video. This isn't the one for you. Okay. So we're gonna watch Nick Shitley, independent journalist, Nick Shitley address CPAC with some rockin' butt rock as his walk-up music. So let's go, everybody.
Thank you, thank you. I'm super excited to be here and to be able to speak to you guys today. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of Republicans nor Democrats. I'm here to speak on behalf of we the people. I think nowadays we can all agree that we all just want to live the American dream and have the best life possible.
Okay. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying now? I'm going to be making fun of him, people. So, like I said, if that's not your thing, you don't have to watch this video,
However,
okay?
it feels that sometimes, actually a lot of times, non-controversial issues are becoming controversial inside of America.
Oh yeah,
For
what are
instance,
those?
if you take a look at the idea of deporting illegal migrants. That word is illegal. That should not be controversial.
It I'm sorry, it is. Like I'm sorry. That's the again, your definition of illegal. You use the word illegal, but it's like that's a loaded word because most Americans do not want you to be deporting illegal migrants if they haven't done anything fucking wrong. Like if they haven't done any crimes, if they are just, I don't know, like a construction worker or whatever, right? Like most people in the average position of Americans is that they don't want those people to be deported. And in fact, they want a pathway to citizenship for nonviolent, quote unquote, illegal immigrants. So I'm sorry to say that, like, I guess in a sense it isn't controversial because everybody has the exact fucking opposite opinion of you guys. But okay.
Or the idea that showing your ID to vote has become controversial. That's not.
Yeah, because it's disenfranchising. It's not. Voting ID is not a controversial thing in and of itself, right? Many countries, including I think the UK, have voter ID laws. However, as a part of that voter ID law, they are required to send out an ID to every single person who can vote, right? Every single person who is allowed to vote is like they automatically send out an ID to those people to make the process as easy as possible. If in America you did that, then most people would have no problem with it. I would, I mean, personally, I, I also, I guess, wouldn't have that much of a problem with that. Um, but the problem is we know that's not how it's going to work. We know that's not what's going to happen. We know what you're going to do is make it as hard as possible to vote, disproportionately making it harder for working class and poor people to vote, and especially black and brown people to vote. That's how it's going to actually be implemented. And that is why it's controversial. These people, they don't really, they don't get it. They don't get it.
Controversial either.
Although I get why they
The
don't get it.
idea that
Listen to him
fraud is
talk.
bad has become controversial. How is that controversial? I know a
Well,
little.
fraud is bad. Oh, God. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that I'm pausing this so fucking much, but he says a stupid thing every fucking 5 seconds. Fraud is bad, okay? But you only focus on one particular type of fraud. You focus on like racist agitprop fraud. The anytime you can find a black or brown poor person who is engaging in fraud, those are the only types of fraud that you go after. And a lot of times you're not even really finding that. You're just kind of uh like you're just kind of going up to a random like place and being show me the children or whatever, like that's not real journalism. But regardless, let's say it was actual fraud. There's so much other fraud that you can be going after that would give you so much bang for your buck. Most billionaires don't pay fucking taxes. That's a significantly more like large portion of money that you could get, of fraud that you could get. Um, Most contractors that work with the government, like big major corporations that have contracts with the government, such as like SpaceX and shit, just literally just skim fucking money off the top of it and like pocket it into their like into their CEOs and whatever's like pockets. Like that is so much more fraud. The problem that I have with the fraud that you go after is you go after the most minimal non-important fraud that exists. Like the fraud that is so minute compared to like the vast swaths of billionaire and like rich people fraud that exist, that it's like like why are you going after them? And I know the reason why you're going after them is because you're trying to do racist agitprop, so and get views for your stupid fucking YouTube channel. But okay, sorry, I'll try and not pause it after every individual thing he says going forward.
A little bit about fraud. I know a little bit about Minnesota daycares as well. And it's crazy to think that
Weird
we
thing
live
to
in a
say.
world where somebody who exposes fraud can then be painted as the bad man from the politicians where he exposed the fraud. Shouldn't they be excited to know that the fraud is being exposed, because that's not a Republican dollar or a Democrat dollar, it's actually our dollars. I've never gotten a dollar bill that says right or red or blue or right or left.
Well, it's about to say Donald Trump on it, everybody, so get ready for that one. That'll be hilarious. All of our dollar bills are about to have Donald Trump on it. But I already explained exactly why it's like annoying that you do this. I don't care if you find actual fraud, which I don't think you really have yet, but if you find actual fraud, cool, good. That should be stopped. Um, but like I said, there's way bigger fish to fry when it comes to fraud than these like Somali daycares or whatever. And you should, and it's just so obvious that you're just doing racist agitprop. Like so, okay.
We all live inside of the same country, and we should all want the best for our country. And when you see
Some of us do.
fraud inside of our country taking place at literally rampant levels. For instance, in Minnesota, there were programs like autism where you have 10,000% increases in the budget for autism. And this money then goes into the hands of fraudsters.
Well, have we checked to see how much Tylenol they were taking? Doesn't Tylenol cause autism now? I can't remember. I don't keep up with my right-wing like quackery, like doctor quackery that much, so I can't remember what causes autism now. But I think it's Tylenol now.
How does somebody not look at that and say, there's a 10,000% increase in the budget for autism? Is there a 10,000% increase in autistic children inside of our neighborhoods? And if the answer is no, how are they justifying a 10,000% increase
Yikes, dude.
in the budget?
Yikes.
And in other instances, like...
Guys, I'm trying so hard to only focus on what he's actually saying right now, but like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going, but
California, where you have
it's just this is
1,000%
weird.
increase
This is
in
a weird
hospices.
person to put up on
Is everyone
stage.
going to die in LA? I don't think so. So the idea that here inside the United States, when we have these non-controversial issues that have become controversial, it puts us into a weird culture war where it puts people into a position to think, okay, well, wait, how are you supporting this when you're actually not benefiting we the people? We all live inside of the United States. We're not supposed to be, when elected officials elected, they're not supposed to represent 50% of the population. They're supposed to represent 100% of the population. In an instance where fraud is taking place inside our country, each and every single person should want to crack down on that fraud. Because if we don't...
This is just this is classic like right-wing framing. Like, do you think they would ever say that about like any sort of like vaguely left-wing positions? Like, I don't know, like let's say caring about trans people's mental health or something, right? Like, uh, that's not a left wing. That shouldn't be a left wing or a right thing wing position. Like it's like a child's mental health. We should care about it. Um, but there, but somehow it just keeps becoming divisive. Why don't we all just want people to be happy and healthy or whatever? Like I don't know. I think that they just do that sort of framing. They try to frame everything as common sense, even if it's the least common sense like thing or whatever that has ever existed. And maybe I should start doing that too. Maybe I should put the word apolitical in my like YouTube description, my YouTube channel description, so that I can, start pretending like I think that like all of my positions are completely normal and neutral, I guess, or whatever. I think mine are
These
more
people
normal
can
than theirs
continue
are.
just to literally steal our dollars, and they steal our dollars, and then they send it overseas, and once it's overseas, we can't ever get that money back. And that's something that I've learned as I've gone about exposing this fraud. And a lot of times, these people that are taking our tax dollars are foreigners who are not even from the United States of America, and they're stealing our money. And it's just been so
Okay.
crazy to see how.
Wait, what? Like, so because they're sending money abroad, that's like a problem. Like, don't like isn't the whole thing like billionaires have like tax havens in like various other countries that they send all of their money abroad to? Is that not also stealing from this person's perspective? Why do you only care when it's like a brown working class person and you don't care when it's like a billionaire? This is the problem that I have with his like, conception of fraud. If he's even capable of like conceiving this instead of just like I don't know, chasing whatever like dopamine rush or like pretty colors that he sees or whatever, like in terms of like his content. Like I just don't understand. He doesn't seem capable of seeing like how this applies to other situations besides just brown people of working class background.
In all 50 states, there is fraud. However, it seems to be that most of the fraud is in a lot of these blue cities. And when you go out and expose the fraud,
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
I think Gavin Newsom, he posted.
No, 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 no. Are you kidding me? Most of the fraud is in blue cities. Are you kidding me? I mean, yeah, maybe like by number because like there's a lot more population in blue cities, but I'm pretty sure disproportionately like wealth fraud like or like fraudulent programs usually happen much more in like smaller like rural areas is like it was my understanding, um but I mean maybe I'm wrong on that. I'll try and look it up while I let this bozo keep talking.
Posted a photo of me the other day and had 10 cameras on me, an AI generated image saying, "Where are the kids?" trying to depict me as
That
a
was very
pervert
funny.
for exposing fraud. How sick does a governor have to be to say that the kid exposing the fraud is the bad person versus the fraudsters that are stealing the money?
Okay, you all be the judge. You're listening to him right now. You're listening to him talk. Would you, if he came up to you and at your house and said, "Can I see your children?" Would you let him in? Like you can all tell me. Like you can all tell me if you think you would do that.
And going through this experience of exposing this fraud, I finally came to understand why, for instance, why they attack Elon Musk so hard, why they burn down his factories, or why they burn down his cars, or why they attack him so much when he was simply exposing fraud to help every single citizen. Well, it just happens to be that these politicians don't
Is he
want the
talking
fraud to
about
be exposed
Doge?
because they're involved in the fraud.
Is he talking about Doge? Like, is he saying, dude, you do understand that Doge ended up costing the American taxpayer more money than it saved, right? Like, the amount of like damage that it did to the American to the just general government programs that we have costed the American taxpayer more money. Like, he literally did the exact opposite of what his job was. They're having a hard time clapping for him. I would
And
too.
Nowadays, since I've posted that video, my life has changed. it changed a little bit. I'm speaking here in front of all you guys, so thank you. But my life's changed a little bit because the idea that a governor, for instance, Gavin Newsom, can go ahead and post that photo, and everyone knows that I'm not the bad man for exposing the fraud, but a small group will then think, wow, that kid is a bad person. He is what they're trying to depict me to be. That now I have to walk around with security when I go to cities, or people will try to literally...
Hey, I said before, I think he has the mentality of an 8-year-old, so I don't necessarily know if it would be considered pedophilia. I'm sorry.
Last time I was in California, I was just there the other day. I couldn't stay at a hotel because last time I was in California, after I posted that fraud video, somebody tried to take a photo and put it into a Reddit group chat, and a group of people were looking for me because I exposed the fraud. Like that's crazy to think that we live in a society nowadays where somebody going to do a big public service for the country.
Oh, sorry. This is another one. If you guys remember, if you want to know like just an example of like fraud usage or whatever, like do you guys remember COVID and like all of the fraud from all of the various like businesses and corporations who just like scammed like tons of money from the government? Like that was all like, small businesses and like and larger corporations and stuff who were just like stealing tons and tons of money from the government. Um, but then, yeah, nobody gave a shit, right? Nobody gave a shit because we are fine with our businesses and corporations. Uh, we are generally fine with our businesses and corporations stealing money from the government in like massive, massive quantities. We only care about it when it can be weaponized against like minorities essentially or whatever. And when it's like small scale stuff like this, like individual stuff like this, as opposed to systemic issues of fraud. Yeah.
Has to worry for their life. And it actually makes me a bit upset because how have we gotten to that point where we've lost common sense and where non-controversial issues have become controversial? And it's actually very worrisome.
How?
And a lot of people come up to me and say, well, Nick, how can we help? Or how do we do?
He's a part of it. You're a part of it. You're a part of the extreme polarization that is happening. You are doing your part right now to contribute to that. You can't, like, as right-wingers, as Republicans, you cannot go out there after having Donald Trump, a literal fucking fascist, go out and, like, politicize every single agency under the sun, politicize the FBI, politicize the Justice Department, like, just basically politicize the Army, politicize the Navy, politicize just every aspect, the Supreme Court, politicize everything, and then be like, I just don't understand why everything feels so controversial now. Why are people mad that I'm out there doing agit, like racist agit prop in order to gin up hatred against minorities? I just don't understand it. It's like, what? You can't just do all of the politicization and be like, why is everything so politicized? Like, that's just, I don't know, that's silly.
Do what you did inside our own communities, or how do you have like the courage to go out and do this? And I've really fallen in love with the quote or the speech from Theodore Roosevelt that's called "The Man in the Arena," and it talks about critics and talks about how like you don't ever worry what a critic does as long as you know you're fighting for a worthy cause, and it doesn't matter if you fail as long as you're working for a worthy cause. But
yeah, he said, "Don't worry about your haters." that's what his quote was.
Who's to say that you're not the one risking everything, standing there all alone, going about it?
Classic reactionary shit.
Why should you worry about the critics? Why should you worry about the naysayers, or why should you worry about the opposition when you're fighting for a worthy cause? We all are fighting for a worthy cause inside of our communities, with our families, in our churches, at our schools, because a lot of things that we're fighting against are non-controversial issues that have become controversial. No girl should ever have to worry about a man playing on their sports team. Like,
who cares? Who cares? People, we're sending thousands of troops to the Middle East to go to war right now. Like, people can't afford health care. People can't afford just their daily existence. Who gives a shit if a quote-unquote man plays in a woman's sport? Like, that's stupid. That's irrelevant. That's pointless. Who gives a shit?
Controversial is insane. And it takes men and women who are ready to become that man in the arena to be able to confront the opposition, to confront those
Wait a
critics.
second. It takes a woman to be the man in the arena. Maybe he's pro-trans after all.
Because if no one does, they will win. And when we're fighting for common sense issues that aren't controversial, but nowadays have become controversial, each one of us have to step up and become that person who steps in the arena and says, I don't care what they say, or I don't care what he or she says, I'm going to do it because it's a worthy cause. And if we don't,
They're having a hard time clapping, man. I think that all these people out here realize how bad this looks. Like, if I was in this audience, dude. If I was in this audience and I was listening to this dude talk, I would be like, oh man, is this the best we got? Is this the best we got? This is rough, dude. This
because
is
if you
rough.
don't, the critics will win. And their voices are a lot louder. That's how they try to intimidate you. Imagine if I would have been intimidated by Governor Walz calling me a delusional conspiracy theorist, a far-right white supremacist, or all the other things that
A
those
white
politicians
supremacist,
called me.
everybody.
In fact, they even incited riots inside their cities for somebody who exposed fraud. Meanwhile, the Leering Center, it wasn't much to hide. Like, that fraud was very obvious. In fact, the Leering Center then even closed down. They fled the city because they know they're committing fraud. And one thing for you guys to think about is, who are the critics? Who are those people that are saying that you're the bad person, or that what you're doing is not right? Well, a lot of times it's the media. A lot of the times it's that person who listens to the media where they've lost that idea of common sense thinking. And so nowadays, the most important thing I feel like for any of us to do is to think, okay, is the cause I'm fighting for, is it a controversial issue? Or is actually non-controversial, but it's an issue that has become controversial from the critics? And we cannot ever pander to the critics.
This is a stupid thing. What is the difference, right? Like, um, how do you determine this, right? How do you determine whether something is controversial versus whether something is being made controversial by your opponents or whatever? Who cares? Who cares? Like, that that's they're trying to just make they're like I said, they're just trying to make their opinions sound like some sort of because they have incredibly reactionary and weird opinions, right? Like in the grand like state of like politics or whatever, um, far right like MAGA people who do like racist agit prop or like claim like I don't know Haitians are eating dogs or whatever, and they're like, what is this is just a normal opinion to have, right? Like, oh, this is just normal. Like, it's really not normal. Like, it really is not. Like, and we shouldn't tolerate it as normal. It'll just breed more hatred, more resentment, more fighting amongst the working class, and yeah, it's like we should not tolerate this shit.
And we have to keep pursuing a worthy cause. Because what we're fighting for is worthy. America is the greatest country in the world.
uh, Not so much anymore.
And people like to act like it's not, but meanwhile, all the other countries had thousands of years to do it. We had 250 years to do it. And whatever made us the greatest country in those 250 years, we need to make sure that it remains that same way, or else we will fall and the critics will win, and we will not stay the greatest country in the world. And so that's my message for you guys today.
You guys are all accelerating our collapse, by the way. We are entering America's 100 years of humiliation. And yes, it is 100% your guys's. I mean, no, okay, it's not 100% your guys's fault, the conservatives. However, because liberals played their part as well by facilitating the rise of these reactionary freaks. However, you are just doing all of the shit that empires do whenever they are on the verge of collapse. And so, um, America's century of humiliation is incoming, as evidenced by this person right here, a um, mentally not quite there 22-year-old somehow getting a stage where he can try his hardest to formulate sentences, like coherent sentences, in front of a room of like probably millionaires or like small business HVAC like business owners or whatever, who then feel obligated and forced to applaud for this incredibly stupid person. Like this is like the epitome of like this might go down as like the one of the main pictures of like America's decline as an empire is that this person right here somehow got on a stage at CPAC, like somehow like clout sharked his way onto a stage at CPAC. It's so silly.
is to think, really, okay, what cause are we fighting for? Is it a worthy cause? Is it something that's actually not controversial, but maybe the mainstream media or a critic has told me that that's a controversial issue? And when you know it's not, fight and be ready to become the man or the woman in the arena, because if you don't, the critics will win. And this is the greatest country in the world for a reason. We did it in 250 years. Everyone else had thousands of years to do it, and we did that. And so I'm proud to be here today, and I know you guys are all ready to become that man or that woman in the arena because it is a worthy cause that we are fighting for. Thank you.
Okay, so we watched one of the dumbest people that has ever existed, who may or may not have a learning disability, go up and talk to a bunch of, uh, you know, boat dads and small business tyrants, and they all clapped so hard for him. So, I think that that really does say something about the current politics of conservatism in America. I tried to find some stats on like government fraud to see if I could justify my like general vibe feeling that red states or like more rural areas tend to have more fraud. The reason that I think that is because I know that rural areas tend to have a lot more just corruption in general, right? Like they when you talk about like the local police departments at a small town versus a large city or whatever, or the like like smaller hospitals when it comes to like Medicare fraud and like that sort of stuff or whatever. Um, like usually it tends to be that smaller, like more rural areas and towns have more sort of fraudulent behavior. So, um, that's kind of why I think that, but I was having a hard time finding any stats on it, so I can't give you that information right off the bat right now, but maybe I'll find it at some other point. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and move on.